Okay, well, welcome to, oh goodness, so sorry. Welcome to the STEM School Highlands Ranch New Parent Night. We are so happy to have you here this evening to hear all about STEM School Highlands Ranch High School and what to expect for your incoming freshmen or one of our new students who are going to be coming to STEM next year. So you can just kind of see what we're all about. We are home of the Spartans. Our mascot is a Spartan, and we are the STEM school, science, technology, engineering, and math. And this is our seal where we try to really, in our education, really relay honesty, integrity, empathy, respect, and responsibility in our everyday education and academics. We do have innovation, rigor, real world problem solving. We are student centered. We do believe that children are unlimited potential, that there is no limit to their learning. And we really like to have this formula of character, which we were just talking about, of the honesty, integrity, empathy, respect, and responsibility. And that is what we really, really try to instill in our students here at STEM. The cool thing about STEM School Highlands Ranch, and this is what you are getting when you come here, we do have the highest average SAT and PSAT scores in Douglas County. We are 10th in the state for SAT scores and 10th for PSAT scores. And that's out of every high school in Colorado. STEM scored an average total of 1216 compared to the district average of 1083 on SATs. We do have a smaller learning environment. We only have 585 students enrolled with our high school this year, which means that roughly we have around 200 kids per graduating class, which means that we are able to offer smaller class sizes, which means that your student is going to be getting a little bit more individualized education. We did win the John J. Irwin School of Excellence Award in 2014, 16, 17, 18, and 19. And so you are putting your children into very good hands by choosing STEM school. We do have two different graduation requirements. At STEM, our regular standard diploma program still is 24 credits. Each semester, one class counts as a 0.5 credit. So for English, it's for every year, it's 0.5, and then you'll have one full credit for the year of English. So English, they'll take 4 years, equivalent to 4 credits. Math, 4 years. Science is 3 years. Social studies, we have 3.5. Fine arts, which is 1 credit, which is going to be your arts, your music, is going to fall into the fine arts. PE or health is also going to be 1 health credit. The general electives, which would be your business classes and other electives that don't fall under the STEM electives, will go under general electives. We also have world language, which is 2 credits, which is the equivalent of 2 years. And we ask that students take 2 of the same language 2 years in a row. So it would either be Chinese, like they come in as a freshman, having already had Chinese 1 in 8th grade, they would have Chinese 2 freshman year and then Chinese 3 sophomore year. And so it just needs to be the same language 2 years in a row. STEM electives, we have 3 STEM electives, which is 3 years of choosing some of those other fun classes that we have to offer. With our standard diploma, we do have a requirement of 20 hours of community service that they need to complete, and then they have a completion of the individual career and academic planning, ICAP, which is also a state standard. So no matter where they go, they are going to have to complete a ICAP requirement, and that is just a grouping of activities and curricula that we have put together so that they can start planning for their future beyond high school. And then we have the graduation competencies that we can discuss in a little bit. The STEM Scholar Award, which is a slightly different graduation requirement, it's all of the regular requirement with an addition to 30 credits. So instead of the 24, we have 30 credits. You have a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher, and then you need to have a minimum of 2 AP or CE courses or the combination of one of the two. But you have to have 2. And the students have to put together 100 hours of community service to be able to graduate with the STEM Scholar Award. A typical freshman schedule is going to look as this. A standard schedule, they'll have English 1, biology, algebra 1, geometry, government, geography, study hall, physical education or a fine art, Spanish, French, or Chinese, and then a STEM elective. And our STEM elective is going to be science, technology, engineering, or math. And so with us being a STEM school, we do require additional STEM electives. So we want to make sure they're trying to take an extra STEM elective every year. The advanced would be our CE and our AP classes. So an advanced schedule for a freshman might look something like this, where they would have CE literature, chemistry or AP biology, algebra 1, AP human geography, study hall, physical education, fine art, Spanish, French, or Chinese, or STEM elective. Now, the one thing I do want to touch on is that all freshmen, we do ask that they be in a study hall, because there is a big transition from middle school to high school. And so that in the event that they need a little bit of extra help, we have a guided study hall where we actually have instructors in the room that can help students with their academics. And if you look where algebra is listed, it has an asterisk. And if your child has already taken algebra 1, then they would progress to the next sequential math course, which in this case would be geometry. All right, so here's a typical sophomore schedule. As you can see, like I said before, it just kind of follows along. So we don't have to go through the entire one again. I'll give you a second to look through this one. It's basically the same as the freshmen. It's just that they've progressed from biology to chemistry, the government and geography to world history. And so then world literature, and then the advanced would be the CE Lit. Junior schedule, American Literature, AP Lang, because we only offer the 2 English CE courses, and we recommend those for freshman and sophomore year. But you could still take those as upperclassmen if you've changed your mind. You do have that availability. Our third is physics. And then as you can see, the progression of each of the classes keeps going up. Now, the one thing that I do want to point out is with our graduation requirements, the science requirement, and I should have said this before, is it's required to be 3 years of a lab-based science. So we do recommend that all students follow these 3 lab-based, oh my goodness, the timeline that we have set for the biology, chemistry, then physics. And so if you look into our academic planning guide, it kind of tells you the projection of those classes and the suggested prerequisites of if your student wants to take an AP course of that next level, just check with that, make sure your child has met the prerequisites, and definitely check with your teacher to make sure that they feel that they are able, that they feel that they are going to be on track with that. And Bubba just decided to say hello to everybody. Here's our standard senior schedule. We do have British literature, again, AP literature if they choose to take. We also have CE classes that are also available off campus, or we have other classes that are available as well. In the fourth level for math, it is trig pre-calc or one of our AP calculus classes, or statistics. We have the higher level classes as well. Senior year, with that 3.5 that we have in this history section in our social studies, we do have psychology, archaeology, or economics, which are all 1 semester courses that would be able to hit that 0.5 extra credit that they need to have for their history classes. Okay, So the STEM school, where we have STEM elective options, is engineering, technology. So we have, in our engineering, we have our architectural design, manufacturing, CAD, robotics, digital electronics. All of these classes actually are in the academic planning guide, and you can read which in all of these classes that are available and the description of each of these classes and the progression. So which classes do you need to take before you take the next? Tonight we do have Mr. Ryan here, and he can let us know a little bit more about his programs a little bit later, but this is technology. Usually where you're going to start is the introduction to programming is your prerequisite, and then you can lead into game design 1, then 2, AP computer science, and he'll go into this a little bit more in detail to give you kind of an idea of the direction you can go in the technology. We do offer business elective options. We have the PE. The one that I really like is our CrossFit option, where the kids are able to go to a CrossFit gym and they actually walk from school to a actual CrossFit gym, and they do actual CrossFit, and it's so much fun. I think it's a really great addition that we've got to our PE department. We also have our fine arts, which is drawing, ceramics, photography, the digital photography, video productions. We have concept art, obviously Art 3, AP Studio Art, music fundamentals, choir, band, drama. I love that we have guitar. So we offer so many things for being such a small school. Okay. We do have what we call concurrent enrollment, which is CE. Sometimes some people call it dual enrollment, DE. These classes are offered at STEM, usually through ACC, Rocky Mountain, I thought it was Rocky Mountain Community College, Metro, and CU Denver. And those classes are classes that your students will take, and we have an agreement with those universities where the student, as they're taking the class, are also earning a college credit. So the grade that they get in the class at high school is the same grade that's going to go onto their transcript for a college transcript. And so the cool thing is that with these opportunities, some students can earn an associate's degree or more by the time they graduate from high school. And so this is a really great opportunity that STEM has put together for our students. We do pay this community college rate for tuition with a passing grade. So that means that if you do want your student to go to one of those higher level state type schools like Metro, CU Denver, then you would just have to pay the difference of the class. We do have P-TECH that we offer. If Miss Dugan wouldn't mind jumping in on this, this is one that is really new to me that I am not 100% sure about. So I'm going to let her explain this one to you.
Hi everybody, I'm Liz Dugan. I'm one of the assistant directors at STEM, and in the past I've overseen CE and helped implement the P-TECH program, which is pretty much brand new. This current year was our first year having P-TECH, and it's a new program statewide as well. I think they're in year 2 or 3 so far. But P-TECH is a great option for students who are really interested in engineering in particular, especially mechatronics, because that's the P-TECH pathway that we have right now. So it's basically a 6-year program that starts in 9th grade. And by the end of those 6 years, your student would graduate with a high school diploma and an industry recognized associate degree and workplace skills. And they would also complete an internship during that time and just really be ready to join the workforce after the end of that 6 years, after the end of those 6 years. And the real benefit of this is that it is funded. So if your student is part of the P-TECH program, they will obviously graduate from high school on time. They will complete all their requirements on time, and then at the end of 6 years, they get that high school diploma and that associate's degree at no cost to the student. And there's a lot more to do with P-TECH. We do have a webpage dedicated to P-TECH on our website. I strongly encourage you to look into that if that sounds like something that would be a good fit for your student. And you can reach out to me or Mr. Mike Schallenberger. We both oversee the P-TECH program and are happy to help with any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Liz. So we do have STEM Career Discovery through our College and Career Center, and Miss Lytle, who is our College and Career Counselor, could not be with us this evening. So I am going to turn it over to Miss Woodward because I think she mentioned to me that she knows a little bit more about this information, but Miss she has a college and career page where you can actually go on and see more information about these different programs that we offer. So Alyssa, do you feel okay presenting this? Because
Yeah,
I think you
sure.
know about as much as I do. Okay, great.
Yeah. So I'm Mrs. Woodward. I'm the other high school counselor. We have some other programs where students can get college and career experience while they're still in high school. CareerWise is an organization that puts our students in paid internships. It's a 3-year commitment. The last year is a year after high school. And I don't know the statistics on it, but it sounds like it would be a great opportunity for a student to get hired right after high school. So that's an awesome program. Career Mentor program is for sophomores through seniors, and they're basically matched with an outside career expert, and they get to shadow that person. Career discovery events, sometimes we take people from outside in the community, bring them to STEM, and then students get to see a demonstration or see the career expert at work while they're still in school, which is great. Internships, usually only for juniors and seniors. These could be paid or unpaid internships. And again, PTech, like we already mentioned.
All right, has that popped up for you yet?
Oh, there it goes. Every high school student will use Naviance. Miss Wilmot briefly mentioned ICAP, so we have some graduation requirements. On Naviance, they can take self-assessments that give them an idea about what college majors might be a good fit for them and also what careers might be a good fit for them. So it's a great place for them to explore college and career and possible options past high school. And of course, the high school counselors and Miss Lytle, the college and career counselor, will help students throughout their high school career, plan their schedules, make sure they're taking the right classes for what they're interested in for life after high school. Yeah. And again, our full-time college and career counselor is Miss Candace Lytle, and she is fabulous. She knows everything there is to know about college and career, so she is happy to work with you at any point. We offer a few sports at STEM. So we have cross country, golf, girls volleyball, boys soccer, boys basketball, boys lacrosse, and some club sports, including cheerleading, ultimate frisbee, and mountain biking. And I think those last two are really unique opportunities that a lot of high schools don't offer. So I think that is a great opportunity for kids. Some more activities and clubs that students can get into. Technical clubs such as robotics and TSA. TSA is very popular and they compete every year. I think it's every year. And they usually do very well. Arts programs, science clubs, student organizations, including GSA and Sources of Strength. Sources of Strength is a great peer-led group that focuses on mental health of the student body. Business clubs such as DECA, active programs, so more sports programs, and special interest clubs. And kids are allowed to start their own clubs if they get enough students interested and if they have a teacher or a staff sponsor. So that's a great thing that STEM offers. Some more enrichment offerings. I already mentioned a few of these. We also have National Honor Society. Let's see, what did I not talk about? yeah, I'll let you guys read over this list, but a lot of opportunities for students to get involved. So a typical high school day for your students, they'll have 4 classes each day. So we do run on a block schedule. They'll have even number classes on one day and odd number classes on the next. The schedule for next year is Monday and Wednesday we'll have blue days, Tuesdays and Thursdays we'll have gold days, and then Fridays will switch every other week. So one week it'll be a blue Friday, the next week it'll be a gold Friday. Students will have advisement every week. We switched a little too soon. There we go. Advisement every week, and that's once a week. It's a period that'll be about 30 to 40 minutes long, I believe. They'll have a study hall either 2 or 3 days a week, depending on the week, and of course, lunch every day. If your student ever needs help with anything, counselors are available to talk about academics or mental health. We also, the teachers also offer office hours. Students can get help from study hall supervisors. So there will always be a teacher in each study hall that students can ask questions to. And we also offer some after school tutoring. So in high school, we have some teacher and student expectations for them. We really like for our high schools to begin advocating for themselves and learn how to do that. So that includes making sure that your student checks their grades and assignments every single day on Canvas. And if you haven't heard of Canvas, we're going to mention it later on in this on the slides. We want to make sure that they're reaching out to their teachers by themselves first and talking to their teachers. Seeing what they're missing, getting help on assignments, and making sure they are on track in each class. Also reaching out to teachers to see how they can make up a grade in case they miss a test or an assignment or something. And because this is a STEM school and classes are more rigorous than a typical high school, we also want to point out that we like to teach the students how to take care of themselves, and we have great support systems within the school that they can take advantage of. Counselors, mental health staff, and I know teachers are there in a drop of a hat if a student needs anything. Some other tips for success for your high school student: self-awareness, self-motivation, problem solving, and planning ahead skills. I did mention a lot of these already, but I do want to highlight organization. Because your student will have most of their assignments online through Canvas. Sometimes it's easy to forget about an assignment. So it's helpful for a lot of students to have a planner, buy a planner, and write all the assignments down in there. There's also a way to set reminders through Canvas, and it'll alert the student when something's due. Or a lot of times students will just put a reminder in their phone so they don't forget when something's due. So the thing that I'm talking about, Canvas, it's an online platform that teachers use to assign homework and also grade homework. And the students' grades will all be kept in there. It'll break down the assignments and tell you what grade they got for each assignment, as well as an overall class grade. And it's very important for the students and you to check it every day just to see how they're doing and if they're keeping up. If you've never used Canvas before, our lovely communications department made some tutorials on how to set it up and use it. Parents you can set up your own separate account and view your students' grades through that account. And those links are there. So now we are going to hear from our panel of teachers. We have some teachers on here that would just like to talk about their classes and promote what they got going on. So I don't know if Brent, you're comfortable to start. You're next on my little list here.
Great. Then are you hearing me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I'm Brent Roach. I'm the music instructor for grades 6th grade all the way up to 12th grade. And we have a budding music program with just increasingly excited and better quality musicians every year. And this coming year, we've got a couple of changes. We've transitioned from using a classical guitar format to more of the standard, like campfire, playing in your bedroom, writing songs, learning how to play chords, learning scales, a little bit of music theory in there, a little bit of like what songs are you after learning, a general approach to acoustic guitar. We have a beginner ensemble that is open from 6th grade all the way up through high school. So it's an interesting grade mix, but honestly, it's been great because a lot of the older kids will have a chance to kind of work in a tutoring setting. As they're learning, they get to kind of learn it a little more deeply by reteaching kids who are a little bit younger. And that's been a really exciting thing for them, honestly. Usually within a year, they'll go from having no idea how to play a wind instrument to being able, or percussion, to being able to be quite proficient within a year. And then the next progression would be moving on to the advanced classes, which we read all kinds of music together. There are winds, strings, percussion in that class. And, we play at different school functions like graduation. We were headed to a music festival this year. Unfortunately, that was put aside as the recent events happened. We have a general music class called Fundamentals of Music, which is kind of a good introduction if you have no idea what's going on with music, but you just want to dive in a little bit further. It's a semester-long class, and then it can kind of lead to any of these other classes. And then lastly, for those students who are advanced musically, who have already been through one of the beginner guitar or ensemble groups, we have music production. So that, there's a little bit of music theory knowledge required coming into that. We talk about how to compose music using music notation software, and we also talk about how to record, how to produce, just kind of a general how technology is able to tie together all the pieces of music that we are reading and playing and creating. So that is the music program in a nutshell. And if you guys have any questions, you can throw them on the Q&A and I'll answer them about music.
Mr. Ryan?
Hello, everyone. My name is Cameron Ryan. I teach the IT courses at STEM. I've also taught several computer science ones and gaming, but we have 4 major areas in our department. We have the IT side of it, which starts with the CompTIA A+. It's a year-long course. It's CE. It's great for beginners. So if you are brand new to tech, or even if you're intermediate, that's a great course for you. You basically take things apart, rebuild them, and it's a good hands-on fun course. After that, we have networking and Linux, and then a course that the capstone is Certified Ethical Hacker, which builds on all the other ones. Our coding courses, as Ms. Wilmot pointed out, was Intro to Programming is the first one I'd recommend. If you have coding experience, then I would say APCS Principles. If you have a decent amount of coding skills, then I would say APCSA, that's Java. After that, we have data structures and then machine learning with Python. We also, if you don't like the idea of just pure coding and you want to apply it in a creative way, then we have our game design route where we use Unity as our engine. That's, if you're curious what engine that is, that they made Ori and the Blind Forest and a couple other AAA games. But we start with 2-dimensional, then we do 3-dimensional, and Gaming Studio is the capstone of those. We also have a new course in databases that was offered. We started it this year, but we'll be continuing next year, and we're very excited about it. So yeah, so if you're looking of where to begin, the CompTech 1 and 2, Intro to Programming, or 2D Game Design, or the database class. So yeah.
All right, Ms. Moreno?
Yes, hello. Hello, my name is Maria Moreno. I'm one of the secondary school Spanish teacher, and STEM offered the Spanish language and culture. There is another branch that is Spanish and literature, STEM doesn't offer that part. We are focused on language and culture, and it's really, really interesting because the students are exposed to the culture from the Hispanic community. And our goal is to keep 90% of the classes in the target language, meaning speaking Spanish most of the time. Sometimes it's kind of scary and intimidating, but it's not that bad. It's really good to have that experience in the classroom. So that is one of the goals, because now the 2020 standards are requiring that approach. Also, during the classes, the students develop their reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills in the language. Could be Spanish, French, or Chinese. That are the languages that STEM offers. So they develop those skills, and also the goal is they feel confident in the 3 modes: interpersonal, through conversations, presentational, they develop presentations, oral presentations, and interpretative reading and writing. So they need to get those modes during the courses from Spanish 1, 1A, 1B until the AP Spanish classes. So how can we get that goal is activities in the classroom, teamwork, conversations, and also we have the possibility to get in contact with the students abroad. The former last year we were in contact with a student from Nayarit through the SINC, and then hopefully we can get those kind of activities with the students abroad. And of course, through the PBL teaching approach, problem-based learning. So they have a question that they need to solve, and they need to integrate in a PowerPoint or something else. So those are the things that we do very shortly in our Spanish classes, and also singing, doing food from the countries. That is a piece, but that is the more obvious piece. We have more behind those products from the culture, from the Hispanic culture. Well, that is my summary for the Spanish classes. And if you have questions, feel free to set the question. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Beth?
Hi, I'm here mostly as a parent, but I can certainly answer questions if you have any. My name is Beth Giese, and I teach math in the middle school. I teach a couple of high school classes to middle school students. I don't really have an overview of the high school math courses, but if you have any questions about anything, you can just put them in the chat. And if I don't know, I'll certainly find someone who does. Thank you.
And Karen, I don't know if you want to add anything.
Hi, I'm Karen Johnson, the Director of Curriculum. Just welcome everyone, and please let us know. We work very hard at providing a large variety of courses for students based on their interest, based on what their needs are, and so we're welcome to new ideas as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you, teachers. Well, if you all parents, if you have more questions, I think we'll stick around for a couple minutes and let you type in those questions to the Q&A. And then we will also, this has been recording, so if you missed any of it, we'll post it to the STEM website and then let you know when that is up, so you can make sure you catch everything.
One thing I want to add, there was a great question. I mean, the Q&A is full of great questions, but one in particular that I think would benefit everybody is, what if my student wants to change classes now after this presentation? That's a very normal thing, and we have a process for that in place. Your student would just submit a schedule change request form with their counselor as soon as schedules do come out, which will be late July, early August, I believe. It's always right before school starts. So yeah, it's not, if they didn't choose it during the schedule choice, the class choice time, it doesn't mean they're just out of luck. They just need to submit a schedule change request form, and counselors will do the best that they can to accommodate that request. Okay, but yeah, anyone who is done is free to leave, and anyone else can go ahead and just keep submitting questions or to the chat box, anything like that, and we will stay on for a little bit to answer any questions that you have.
Amy, I'm wondering if we can put the student and parent Canvas tutorial links in the chat to all the attendees, so that if they want to watch them now, they can. They're going to be posted later, I believe.
I think posting the links now is fine if you can do it easily and quickly. Yeah.
Yep.
I think Colleen already posted them to the counselor page online.
Oh, okay.
But I will definitely do that.
We do have a few questions in the question and answer that I'm willing to answer live instead of typing in a response. One question came in about, do you think classes will be in person or online? Right now, we are unsure of what that will look like. We are waiting to hear with the state and the CDC along with Douglas County, and we will communicate out what that looks like and how we launch the beginning of the year as soon as we have more information based on the current situation. Another question I see is asking if students can take classes online with the Douglas County program. And Ms. Dugan, maybe you could add as well. My understanding is that at this point, that is a separate program than with STEM. But we would want you to reach out, and if there's a particular class that we don't offer at STEM that you are needing for requirements, to work with counselors. Ms. Dugan, do you have anything else to add about that?
I do, yeah. We have a couple of students that take a couple of classes with EDCSD. We just have a policy that a maximum of 2 credits from an online school that is not STEM can transfer in. So if a student wants to take sign language for their language, for example, they could take sign language 1 and sign language 2, assuming EDCSD offers that, I'm not sure. But they could take those 2 courses, transfer them over to STEM and to complete their world language requirement, for example. But then they would not be able to take any other classes to transfer in. So that 2 credit max is definitely a policy that applies. So be careful with that, but it's definitely an option that's out there.
There is one question regarding it says my son is taking Spanish 2. His grade is not great.
Roll in students.
Excuse me?
Go ahead, Maria.
Well, I mean, if he's taking Spanish 2, he's completing his 2 years required. In this case, if the grade is not, if his grade is not great, I think so that he can take it again or move.
No, he cannot. Well, wait, hold on. Is he in, he's in middle school, I would assume. So yeah, as long as he's in middle school and he does not make an A, he will not get credit for that course, so he can retake it in high school. Once students are in high school and they get credit, whether they make an A through A, B, C, or D, they cannot retake a course. But in middle school, they can.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Sorry about that, señora.
It's fine, thank you.
We've had a couple of questions about volunteer work, so I want to go ahead and answer that live. So yes, the community service hours requirement is pretty broad. It's really any volunteer work that a student does for no other compensation. So they're not getting paid, they're not getting, you know, anything else compensation wise that wouldn't be money. You know, I can't even think of anything off the top of my head, but yes, volunteering at a church, volunteering at a local soup kitchen. The options are endless for the volunteer work. And there was another question about when do those hours start. So they start as soon as they're finished with their 8th grade year. So once they do their last day of 8th grade classes, they can start getting those hours for high school. So they can start this summer, just not this moment. We do have another student workshop tomorrow, correct, counselors? I think it's on my calendar to be there. So, yeah, so
Yes.
Alyssa, Amy, and I will all be at the workshop again tomorrow. So if they missed yesterday's, just attend tomorrow's. Is it at 3?
Yes, it's at 3 o'clock. And if they missed today's, if it was for middle school, then they did miss the middle school presentations, but those should be recorded and posted online as well, because today was for middle school.
Great.
There are a few questions regarding the beginning of school. There's a question, what would happen if we start remotely, and would anything change for new students who need to set up accounts? Once school starts, and that's in July officially, you would receive your schedule in Infinite Campus. Everything would roll over as you would be an official STEM student starting the new year at that time. And so we will use tutorials and have sessions like this to help students to get set up and active in their courses. That will happen mid to the end of July.
I do want to answer the question about the orientation day for freshmen for everybody that's still here, because I think it would benefit everybody. So yes, we have a event called Spartan Launch, which is dedicated to new students to STEM, and it's kind of a crash course on how to use Canvas, how to find your way around school. Our high school student government students lead most of it, so it's a chance for them to meet other high school students, especially high school leaders, and they take them around the school, show them where all their classes are, and it's a great thing to take part in, and that's something that we do right before school starts, usually that week right before the first day of school. And teachers also attend that too and answer questions and help out as well. It's a great event for new students to partake in. Unfortunately for the STEM Scholar Diploma, they have to complete every single requirement. So if they have everything but the STEM electives, they would still not qualify. So it is something that it's all or nothing. Yeah, I still see some, I don't know, I'm not sure if these questions about remote learning came in before Dr. Johnson talked, but I'll go ahead and just kind of reiterate in case they came in after she talked. A lot of it's up in the air right now. We just don't know. We would definitely, I think, keep going. If we're not allowed in the school at all, we would definitely still keep doing the Zoom thing to some extent. We know the system that we have going right now is not perfect by any means. And we will work, we as an admin team for sure will work tirelessly over the summer to make sure we're meeting the needs of all of our students and teachers and parents as well. So I'm sorry I can't give you hard and fast answers with that. It's just a lot of, we don't know. It all depends on what our governor says and what our county DCSD decides. So we can't make a plan until we know what we're guided and told to do. All right, well, thank you all for attending. We'll stay on just a couple more minutes if there are any more questions, but if you are good to go, feel free to enjoy your evening. We thank you all for coming, and we are so excited for your students to become STEM Spartans, and I can't wait to meet them in person, hopefully in August. I do not want to wait until after August. I want to meet you all now. So have a great night.
Thank you very much, and see you. Have a great night.